Okay, take that shit. Take that shit, bitch. Take that shit. Put your own fucking face in it. Come on, bitch. Like father, like son, huh? Like father, like son. Okay. It's okay. Your nostrils are gonna get bigger when you get older. I promise you. They're not gonna stay little like that forever. They're gonna get bigger, okay? I promise you. I promise you. Oh, snaps! Everybody out there, what's up? This is SR Broadcast coming to you live in full effect. This is your co-host, David Pistols. Shouts out to Six Dudes, the founder, man, the one that made this possible for everybody. Come and click in, tap in. You know what time it is. I'm right here. I'm coming for you local artists worldwide. It doesn't matter if you rap, if you sing, if you dance, if you break dance, pop lock, you do it all, man. Hit up SR Broadcast today. The name is David Pistols. Come get your interviews live in full effect. I'm telling everybody out there, shouts out to you. This would not be possible without you. Tonight on the menu, we got a great one for you. Denver, Colorado's own, Denver's most wanted, Dank 1. Everybody out there, tap in, tune in. You know what season it is. If not, come on. If you ain't tapping in, you know what season it is. Get the fuck out. Come on. Yeah. Everybody out there, I see you. I see you right now. I see you smoking in the back over there. I see you sipping on that. Come on. Take a shot for David Pistols. Take a little hit for David Pistols. Come on. Yeah. Instrumental by S.A. Little G out of Trinidad, Colorado. Shouts out to you, S.A. Little G. I see you doing your thing, baby. Southern Colorado's very own, stand up. But tonight, we are in the 303. D-Town, stand up. You know what it is. Everybody out there, if you're looking for that exposure, this is the place to be. SR Broadcast in full effect. The place for the super righteous to come and be super righteous. You know what time it is? What? Yeah, SR Broadcast in the mix, baby. Yeah. Shouts out to Cali Hood Media. Frank, we see you, Frank. We see you, Frank. Shouts out to One Underground TV, Pothead Productions, Spilled Records. Man, they spilling drip all over the place. Let me tell you what, shouts out to you. And like again, I'm gonna say it right now. Shouts out to the founder, the one, the only, Six Deuce, coming out of Southeast Los Angeles, Colorado. No, California, Southeast Los Angeles, California. Everybody out there, tap in. You know what it is. Yeah. Coming out of Southeast Colorado too as well. We're right here in the 719 posted up right now, baby. You know what time it is. South to South. What's up, baby? This is the one, the only, your co-host, David. Bow Pistols. Yeah, what up, what up, what up, what up? Let's get it cracking, let's get it cracking. We waiting for Denver's most wanted, Denver's most wanted artist right there. Man, Dank one. He's been in the industry for a very, very long time, folks. He's Chicano rap's #1 artist out there, man. In Denver, Colorado, in the Mile High City, in the Mile High area. When it comes to pioneers in this industry, there hasn't been anybody that has done as much as that man has done. Oh, you thought it was stuck. Y'all thought it was stuck. Come on. Come on. You know what time it is, baby. SR broadcast. Artists worldwide, tap in today, tap in today. I'm looking for all of my artists worldwide. Tap in today with SR Broadcast. If you're looking for that exposure, we are the place to be. Free interviews, people. Everybody out there. What? I don't gotta pay for an interview. I don't gotta pay to explain myself. I don't gotta pay for a story, man. Wait a minute. Oh, it's the one and only Dank one out of Denver.
What up, what up?
Everybody out there, shouts out to you. We got a treat for you guys tonight. Let's go ahead, kill this music real quick. Man, the myth, the legend. Man, you know I've been waiting for this one all week, Dank one.
Yo, what's going down, mommy? What's happening?
Man, we're just pleased to have you out here on SR Broadcast, man. This is the place for the super righteous to come and be super righteous. So you know, when I was asked to check out Denver, Colorado and scope Denver, Colorado for its talent, who was the first person that came to mind?
There you go, baby. I appreciate
Denver's
that, man.
most wanted, man. Denver's most wanted. I'm going to just start off by saying, man, I salute you and everything that you've done. I've been watching your progress, and we all have been able to see it. From California to Colorado, man, you have been making noise. You're a pioneer in this industry. I don't really think that there's anybody else that is going to be up there on that galactic level, especially in Chicano rap. And I'm not trying to hurt feelings, but it's like, if you really want this industry, and I'm telling you how I know for a fact is because I remember you took me out there with you and you were like, you ready to sell CDs? And I looked at you like, oh shit, like all I know how to do is sell drugs. You know, all I know how to do is bad things,
hey,
you know?
Music game is just like the dope game, man. You got to push product, you know what I'm saying? So selling CDs and selling dope is pretty much the same, except for, you know, the music's been switched now. Now it's on streams and stuff like that. So the game has been twisted and it's flipped upside down right now.
Yeah, man, I can only imagine. Definitely, like, when that happened, did you guys lose traction on sales at all? Or were you guys able to keep up with that progress?
Sales actually dropped. We actually switched. I switched to music video DVDs and also USBs to kind of balance it out. But honestly, right now, man, you know, just pushing shows and doing stuff like that is where the money's at, because there's not really much money into CDs anymore. The game is pretty much flipped up to the Illuminati, Yang big record companies, and these guys are controlling the streams. All that stuff is a big front, man. You're looking at 1,000 streams. I mean, 1 million streams is only going to get you four grand. Back in the day, I could go sell 400 CDs and make 4 grand. You know what I'm saying? A million
Yeah.
streams is only 4 grand, bro. That's even if you're lucky. Honestly, it's probably more down to like 2,500 to 3 grand for a million streams.
Man, that had to impact the industry really, really hard, man. It's almost man, if you ask me, it almost is worse than when they used to download it from what was it, LimeWire? Back in the day,
Honestly,
they
bro,
used to.
like this is way worse, man. Because I had people back in the day that used to bootleg our albums, and we would catch them, man. You know, over there like Chubby's and stuff, Sound Denver's Most Wanted albums, and different places like that. I mean, even though that hurt it and we seen it, it really didn't affect our pocket. You know, even when you seen it, you're like, oh shit, these motherfuckers are bootlegging my shit, and then you know you had to go confront them or take their stuff. But now, man, it's just all bad now.
A little cheat code to that one right there is that definitely they can go stream it everywhere. They can go get it everywhere. They can literally go find all kinds of converters to just snatch it off the internet still. So what I would say is that definitely keep pushing, doing what you're doing. Jump on Apple Music because that's where they're going to really hear the best of your quality. And they created Apple Music for that purpose. So basically everybody out there, you might already have all the Denver Most Wanted albums. You might already have something on your computer that you've been kind of just taking and putting to the side, you know. But hey, if you really want to hear that full effect and that quality, go check out Dank One on Apple Music. I know you're on there, huh?
I'm on everything, bro. Like I'm with Empire with GT Digital, so I'm on every platform you could possibly think of, man. Apple, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, whatever it is, man. Deezer,
I
all
just
that
got to
stuff.
ask
But
this question: is GT Digital? What is that? Is that Gold Toes' platform?
that's GoTo's, yes,
Okay,
GoTo's.
from the
But
Bay Area.
when you look at my name, Dank One, it's DANK and the number one. You don't spell out the one. It's just the number one, and that's how I pop up. But yeah, man. Honestly, I've been doing music for a long time. I put out my album with Capone, and it really didn't do too much. It actually dropped during COVID, so it was kind of something that didn't really get a big push. I actually took the album back from Capone and released it to DT Digital to Gotos, and man, proofs in the numbers, man.
Yeah,
I got
get in that.
it's
You're
getting
getting
rough,
them,
bro.
man.
The numbers are going up, man. You know what I'm
You
saying?
got
Like
him in a headlock. You're squeezing that neck. You're like, here, let me show you little youngsters with it. Hit him with an elbow.
you know
Hit
what?
him with an elbow.
It's fucked up though, man. It's fucked up that you have to get with these big record companies because if not, you get lost in the streaming system. Like my summertime song that I dropped with Baby Bash, MC Magic, you know what I'm saying? With Capone on his platforms, he was only getting 8 to 10K views. With GT Digital, I'm up 716,000 views just on that one. Oh no, my bad, bro. That one's a 400,000, it's up to 400,000. I did drop another song with GT Digital with Kit Kat with Brown Boy. That one's out of 716,000 views. So it's definitely the
Man.
platforms, man. Like I could even drop that same song. Those songs I dropped on my own platform, the Denver's Most Wanted platforms that I've been doing for 20 plus years. And man, I'm still only cracking like 1,000, 2,000, plays on my platform. So definitely, man, it is like you definitely get with these bigger record labels and stuff like that. They do got a better platform, and I think it's pretty much fucked up, bro. Like honestly, it's a blessing. I'm happy to be with them, but to me as an artist, and I see what it's doing to the industry and stuff like that, man, I think it's fucked up that upcoming artists can't really get on those big platforms, especially like TuneCore and DistroKid. You have nobody to speak to, man, especially when you're on TuneCore. You couldn't talk to anybody. And I had that issue with TuneCore when I was dropping my albums. I couldn't get like some of the songs, like the features like Baby Bash and Little Flip and stuff like that. I couldn't get them cleared because you had to go through so many loopholes and stuff that. But when you're with GT Digital and GoTo's, they're in direct contact. Like I could call them and be like, hey, this and I'm having these issues, and they could go in there and they could, help out and figure out and actually, speak to somebody and get some help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. Now I know definitely you've been doing this for the longest. I remember, I'm not gonna lie to you, Dank. I remember I was a little kid. I had to be no older than 12 years old. And I was at the Denver Lowrider show. And I know I've run this by you a couple times throughout the years, but I will bring this up again. I had met one of Denver's Most Wanted right there. I don't remember his name clearly, but he had the nice braids, man. He was out there, he's flashing and bashing, and he was kicking game. And honestly, man, that's how I got introduced to Denver's Most Wanted. And I saw you guys out there at that lowrider booth, and you guys were just killing it. And here we are years later, and you're still out there killing it. You know, I've
20,
been seeing
20
the
plus years,
showcase.
man. 20 plus years, bro. 2003 was the first Denver's Most Wanted album that dropped, man. So, we're 2025. So, up there 22, 21 years, 22 years.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's amazing, man. I remember one of the songs on there is like, "What's your side? East side,
Oh, yeah.
west side?"
Yeah, that was actually, shout out to the homies from Bars Head. Denver's Most Wanted was a compilation album that we got put out when I first started, me and the homie Mr. Loco. We actually started recording through Unforgotten Records, and they had a compilation album that they were dropping, which was called shit, I can't remember what it was called. Elevated Game. I think it was like Elevated Game Volume 1. I was on Elevated Game Volume 2, which Frog and Suave, what they were doing was they were getting a bunch of group of people, artists from Colorado, and putting them up on one album. They started pulling off on that. So we kind of, took their idea, and we couldn't afford to put out an album, man. So we got a bunch of Denver artists together, and everybody had singles, and we just made one album. I actually used my first income tax check that I had got because I was working at that time. I think I was like 18, 19. I can't remember exactly how old I was. And we used the money. We just flipped it, man. Like we didn't have money to go into the studio and record a whole album. I only had one song on there. I think we had two. Was it one or two songs? I think it might have been. I can't even remember how long it's been. I think it was one song I had on there, and then it might have been two. No, because I think the other second song was on Volume 2. Honestly, I can't remember, man, but I know I had one track on there. We couldn't afford to do a whole album, so that's how we came up with the concept of Denver's Most Wanted. And what we did was I got a bunch of different artists from different neighborhoods. So we got people from the north side, east side, west side, south side, and we all came together as a unit. The way I figured it like this is like, if we got people, if I'm dropping 1,000 albums and I'm giving, 100 albums to, the north side, I'm giving 100 albums to the east side, 100 albums to the south side, west side, whatever. These people from these different gangs, they're out there pushing the music to their people, and their people are bumping it, but also they're listening to other people's from other people's neighborhoods. So it was definitely something that, put the city all together, and it actually blew up. Like that song that you're talking about right there, west side, east side, that was from the Bars Hood, BHGs, you know what I mean? So shout out to them. But that was a concept that we came out back then, and it was actually a lot of street politics and stuff like that. It kind of worked in favor as far as selling CDs, but it didn't work in favor as doing shows. That's why I ended up doing a lot of shows by myself, because you really can't get all these different people from different neighborhoods at that time together, because back then it was a lot more active than it is now. Now it's a lot more different, but I'm talking about back then. I'm talking 2003. You know what I'm saying? It was active back then,
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna lie. Like I was a little youngster out there, man, but I ain't gonna lie, man. Everything was really, really, really cracking, and I could only imagine, because I know that you're a little bit older than me, man. I could only imagine what it was like really back in the day for you. They don't call you the
It
parking
was
lot
it was
pimp for a reason.
It was easy for me, bro, because I actually, you know what I'm saying, I grew up in South Denver, Alameda Federal area. I went to Barnum, went to Kevner, I went to Lincoln. But I wasn't really into gangbanging. I wasn't a gangster myself, even though I represented the West Side. I was a tagger, man, VAK crew, vandalism, and chaos. So me being a tagger allowed me to go into different areas, especially when I started working for the big homies, you know what I'm saying, the plugs, and I started being their left hand. Left hand man, right hand man, you know what I mean, doing my thing. I was able to network with a bunch of different neighborhoods and stuff like that, because there wasn't really too much politics on me, because I was just a hustler and I was just a tagger, you know what I'm saying? So I could go into different neighborhoods and work with different people, and I could plug these people and plug these people and plug these people and work with these people without getting any kind of political beef from my own circle and stuff like that. So yeah.
So I got to ask this question here at SR Broadcast. We pride ourselves to give one of the best interviews that we possibly can, because like tomorrow, it could be grandma on the way to go to her church meeting at the church. She's going to be listening to this. On the way to work, they're going to be listening to this. When they're working out and they're trying to get those longhas off, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, they're going to be bumping this. So they're going to be listening to this, man.
I got a lot to say, man. So whatever
I
you gonna
definitely
do,
I
bro.
want to ask you this question. This is, and feel free to always pass if you need to, and no harm, no foul. We'll go to the next subject. But I just want to ask you about Colorado and the school shootings. I know that you're a little bit older and you have some knowledge. I want to hear it directly from you. I want to know your thoughts and what's going on out there.
Actually, like, are you talking about the combine situation and stuff like that?
I heard just recently. I heard basically I saw something. East High School. Two deans got shot inside of East High School. There was another school shooting over there, and I want to say is right over there, Highlands Ranch. Even there was a shooting over there. Definitely, there's been some shootings in Aurora, and I know and I know Denver is notorious for that. So it's like I just want to ask you your standpoints on that.
Honestly, bro, I haven't really been following up on any of that. I really don't watch too much of local news. I try to watch little bit of TV as possible because of all the drama stuff going on with all the news and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I did grow up, in the era of like I said, I remember Columbine and stuff like that. That was crazy. I know it's a little bit different. There's a bunch of shootings here and there. I do remember that, growing up in my neighborhood, we always had problems at school, riots and guns, gun battles and stuff like that. But I mean, people are getting killed today, at school, and it's a tragedy. I mean, I really don't know how they would, fix that. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to stop that. You know what I'm saying? There's no way.
Basically, there really is no way to ever stop something like that. But definitely what it is when it comes too thick, you can always figure a way to thin things down. So it has to be something.
A lot of it has like a lot of the school shootings is mostly mental health stuff. I mean, of course, you got your gang shootings and stuff like that, but that's usually an issue with certain people. And like I said, there's
certain
really
neighborhoods.
There's really. I mean, what's gonna go down is gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody's gonna be, shooting somebody at school, which isn't the place to do it, you should catch somebody else sleeping somewhere else. I'm not saying that's fair or whatever, but I mean, it is what it is, man. When you're in that life, when you're in the gang life and stuff like that, it is what it is, man. There's really no stopping people. Like we all learned the hard way. We're all hard headed. I don't condone it. I mean, I got kids. I wouldn't want something like that to happen to me. None of my kids. I mean. But what can we do? I mean, we could put security in the schools, or we could have metal detectors and stuff like that. But like I said, I really don't know too much about this subject. I wouldn't really have nothing really to speak on. I could speak on personal experiences. When I went to school, man. When I went to school in Kempner, bro. When I went to school in Kempner, we used to be fighting. We was fighting every day. You know what I'm saying? Behind the Kentucky Market. I remember when I went to school in Lincoln High School, bro. It was nuts, bro. I remember there was like real riots, bro. Like I remember, like I think it was Kennedy would come to Lincoln High School, and it was like the jocks, but like there would be like jocks, and they would come to our hood, and we're like gangsters and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like it would get down. Like I seen brawls like up on Federal, if you know where Lincoln High School, where the whole place be fine, bro. I seen a dude running down the street with the fucking crowbar in the back of his head. That's how shit used to get wild at school, man. I seen people get beat up and in the Taco Bell. There was major riots at Lincoln High School when I was growing up. So school violence, I think, it just happens. Kids are out there fighting all the time. I don't think that's going to change. I don't really know what to do about that subject.
Yeah, no, definitely. I just believe, like, honestly, we just keep doing what we're doing now, and we keep doing it, and we create this platform so we can at least help the ones that come to us, because at the end of the day, that's really what it is. They're searching for an outlet. And a lot of these things, you're right, it is a lot of mental crisis, a lot of mental health. And it's like when you're put in certain situations, it jeopardizes you, and it makes you crash out. And it's like, if there's another outlet out there, I would have loved to meet the person I am now when I was a kid, because I could have been like, hey, look, there's another outlet. There's another way. It's called get that bag, get that money,
I get it, man. Well, dude, it's hard, man. Like I said, like society and, growing up and stuff like that. Even when we were growing up, man, we had something to prove. You have pride. So if somebody comes and crosses your pride or puts you down, like sometimes you have no choice but to stand your ground and step up, especially if somebody's violating you or your family or harming you or harm somebody. I mean, it's in the streets, it's an eye for an eye. It isn't the way to go, though. It is consequences. There's consequences. You could get locked up, you could lose your life. I mean, you could actually hurt somebody else. I mean, that's just the way it is, man. I mean, the streets is what it is, and there's consequences for every action. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, teaching people that and making that aware, people knowing that aware that, there is consequences out there. I mean, that's the best thing that we could do. But at the end of the day, people are going to do whatever they want to do anyways. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? There's no stopping it.
Basically, I know it's called lead by example, but these youngsters, they definitely learn by example. You know, they definitely learn by it. And man, it's sad, but you know, honestly, um, that's why there's platforms like this and platforms like yours. And you know, one day they'll stumble over. You know, one day they'll be like, "Hey, look, Dank one, I'm very serious." You know, one day they'll be like, "David Pistols, I'm looking for that interview." But until then, man, you know, shouts out to the youth out there. Shouts out to everybody. We were just like you, man. You know, and I gotta ask you now, like now that you're older, like where does your pride stand today? Like is it still have that fire of a youngster, or is it kind of more wiser? Like is it like in a different direction?
I think I'm more chill out, man. To be honest with you, bro, like when I was coming up to the hood, you know what I'm saying? I grew up really grimy, you know what I'm saying? The worst of the worst, man. I lived in a trailer park, bro, where I was in a dump trailer where my dad was a raging alcoholic, didn't, pay the electricity. We would have to use the gas stove, hold up the stove open so the heat could come through. I remember sleeping, water dripping on my forehead. My dad was always drunk all the time. There was always fights at my house and stuff like that. When I grew up, man, my thing was like, I wanted to get out of the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be gone, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna lie, man. As soon as I got a little bit of money, man, I live out of Arvada. Like I really don't live in the hood no more. Like I'm out, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, it's just it is what it is, man. You got to just be wise and keep working and do what you got to do. Um, but I can't take back whatever led me to the path to where I'm at right now. That's the path that I chose, and that's the path that I walk, and I don't regret anything that I ever done to got me to where I'm at.
Yeah, no, that's respectable, brother. That is because honestly, you're an amazing attribute to Denver, Colorado. You are amazing at what you do. You know, every Cinco de Mayo, every major holiday, you're at your booth. You know, and let's be honest, you could have been out there and you could have crashed out a long time ago, and you could have been out there robbing and doing what you uh, knew your surroundings were. You know, and it's like now it's like you just put that impact into us, and I gotta say I salute you, brother. You know,
Well,
it's
so I'll bring it back, man. Like honestly, this is the way I kept my head focused and stuff like that. I had kids at a young age, so I was raising my daughters, and I want to do right for my kids. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, they could do a better life than I chose or whatever. But the reason that kept me so humble and stuff like that is because I put myself in the position where if I didn't sell CDs today, I didn't eat. So we went out and hustled every single day. Like every single day, we would sound 20, 30, 40 CDs daily. And I put myself in that position where it's like, if I didn't hustle this music, I wasn't able to eat or take care of my family. So you gotta keep yourself, focused, and you gotta keep yourself hungry. That's where it comes to being hungry, man. You gotta be out there and get it. If you're content with your situation, say you're either selling dope or you got money coming in from working and stuff like that, then you become content and you're like, okay, well, I don't need to sell CDs today. Like I don't have to be on the corner, looking like a bum trying to sell CDs, you know what I'm saying? Trying to beg people to buy your album because I got money coming in either from the government or I got money coming in from a job or I got money from slanging dope or whatever. So that was the kind of the concept that I did to myself mentally, that I was like, man, I have no choice but to get outside and hustle today. Like I have to sell this amount of CDs to pay my rent. I got to sell this amount of CDs to have money for the week and stuff like that. And that actually is what actually kept me out of being in trouble and stuff like that, is just staying humble and staying hungry.
So I know definitely I was listening a little bit to what you were saying, a couple references to slinging dope, and I just want to bring this back because I know honestly, man, back in the day, it was no joke. Like they were really slanging and banging. It wasn't just, hey, I'm gonna go get a sack and use it all. They were actually slanging that shit. So I guess what I would ask you is like, what are your thoughts on today's fentanyl crisis and all that? I've actually had my best friend, my childhood best friend, he actually overdosed. He ate a blue and he went to sleep and never woke up, man. And
I, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna keep it 100, man. When it first came out, there was money to be made. Streets was making money. the price of everything went down. He went from 30 to 25 to 15 to 10 to 5. And after a couple years after it was in the market and stuff like that, you start seeing people drop like flies. You know what I'm saying? I know people personally that's been affected by it. And I had made a song called "Twerk for the Perks," which at the time, when it was really popular, because I know Angel myself, man. You know what I'm saying? I done a lot of drugs myself, LSD and Molly, and I done a little bit of the white back in the day when I was younger. I'm more of a hallucinogenic person myself, so I don't fuck with the snow, or I don't fuck with the glizzy or nothing like that. But I do like to take some tabs or whatever and smoke some weed. That's my drug of choice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not an angel, but what I seen, as far as like I said, I made that song "Twerk for the Perks." I thought it was kind of comedy and funny, and I was like, yeah, whatever, blah blah blah. But later on, a few years go on that I had that song out, I started looking back at it, and I'm thinking about some of my homies, their kids died, man, and fentanyl, man, that shit. Kids are dying. Kids are dying left and right, and it's affecting everybody around us, man. Like I grew up in, the cocaine era. You know what I'm saying? Like we grew up, I'm from the 80s and 90s, you know what I'm saying, when the crack pandemic. And I know crackheads to this day that's been doing crack their whole life, or cokeheads that have been doing coke their whole life, and that motherfuckers ain't dying, you know what I'm saying? They're healthy. They're out there, cleaning yards, cutting grass, doing whatever they got to do to hustle to make money to get their next fix or whatever, but they ain't dying. You know what I'm saying? Like I never met anybody that's died off cocaine. Like I heard of stories of people ODing and stuff like that, but I don't know nobody personally.
Man, I think they try to say Elvis died over cocaine. I'm like,
They said there was a bunch of other pills too. He was taking a bunch of pills and stuff too. But like I said, I don't know, man. Like I say, like drugs are not good for anybody. I don't, I wouldn't want nobody to be out there doing drugs. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a good thing. But some of us do them, and some of us have been doing them, and sometimes some of us had experienced them. It's fun. It's a fun time. You know what I'm saying? You're having fun. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's not fun. You know what I mean? It's just a chase. You know what I'm saying?
I'm having a bad high. I'm having a bad high. Like,
sometimes you're chasing that shit, man. Sometimes you're chasing a good time and it doesn't turn out. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't turn out to be what you expected, and then you're like, oh man.
Like, why does this coke taste like ether? Like, what the fuck is going on here, huh? Like, damn, straight ether. I mean,
that's the back in day shit, man. Like, honestly, dude, I did my coke, but it was when my teenage years. You know what I'm saying? I ain't done it in 20 plus years. You know what I'm saying? And I got stories of why I don't do it and stuff like that. I could get into a whole different stories and stuff like that, but I don't fuck with that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So
I actually stopped because I was, Denver is known for hallucinogenics. That's what it is known for. It is a great party city, and it's kind of a trip because if you ask me, it's like three different worlds. You got this urban, like, hipster touch in the side of Denver, and then you got the hallucinogenic side, and then you got the gang members, so it's kind of like,
okay, so that right there, what you're saying, man, is how I got into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like I said, I was a tagger. I was, pushing mad dope back then, 18, 19, 16, even, back 15, 16 years old. And at that time, we're slanging and banging, you know what I'm saying, doing our thing. And one of my homies, he was from, they used to call the Arvada kids back then, the AKs, they're AK Arvada kids, not AK, West Side AKs, but they used to call it like Arvada kids. And they used to have house parties, big parties, underground parties, bro, drum and bass, techno parties and stuff like that. It's not big commercial like it is now, but back then, like they used to get a warehouse, get a keg, DJs be out there scratching, and that's where I started emceeing, doing freestyles and busting flows, because I used to go to these parties and slang coke, you know what I'm saying, like be pushing 20s and stuff like that to all the white kids, and at the same time they'd be like, hey man, get up there, bust a flow. So we would sit there and like every weekend, man, like DJs to drum and bass, and that's where I started busting raps, man. Is actually to drum and bass music, busting freestyles. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking with the homies.
You're straight hip hop.
Yeah,
you're straight hip hop to the T. Basically, what it is somebody great told me, they're like, hip hop. It isn't what you wear; it's who you are. And honestly, I can just tell right now, like if you started off like that, brother, I'm like, there's a reason that you're still standing today. There's a reason you're still creating music today. It's like you learned it at a great time to learn it. You
Yeah,
know,
and it was just fucking around, bro. It was actually just like we'd go to house parties. They'll get the mic and freestyle and like blah blah blah. And like, and I
how
always
were
thought it
those
was
house
cool,
parties? That's the question.
bro. Dope parties, bro. Like when these white people are crazy, man. When you see those like TV movies of white people doing crazy ass dumb shit, those are the kind of parties that I was at, man. I was the only Mexican there, slanging and banging them, man. And these white people would be doing dumb shit, body slamming
Jumping
to each other.
jumping off the
No,
roof, hit him with an elbow.
bro, yeah, really, like jumping off roofs, bro, just body slamming each other through coffee tables, like just doing dumb shit, like tattooing on people when they're sleeping, fucking, their face wake up with a bunch of shit, like they'll be doing some fucked up shit, bro. Like honestly, dude, like I seen some pretty wild shit, you know what I'm saying? But that actually, like I said, that's how I started doing hip hop, and I actually caught a case, and I think it was '99, somewhere around there. I got hit by West Metro Drug Task Force, and I was actually in a Jeffco pod one time, and I can't remember what we were watching. I don't know if it was like the BET Awards or MTV Awards, one of those award shows. And I was like, man, these fucking guys fucking suck. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what? If they could rap, I could rap. I was like, if they could do it, I could do it. So that's actually the point where I came out and I started.
You came out with a vengeance, huh?
Yeah, I came out like
you came out hot.
I came out, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got me a keyboard. Keyboard Yokohama, whatever that shit is called. And I was, making beats in my basement. And actually, one time I was outside my house, man, because I lived on 9th and Mead. And I was outside of my house trying to make some beats. And the homie pulled up. Slammed on the brakes, and he hopped out. And he's like, yo, what's up? I said, what's up, Holmes? I was like, what's up, dog? And it was the homie Mr. Loco, you know what I'm saying? And so I got, connected with the homie Mr. Loco, rest in peace. He came out and he was connected with Big Daddy Records and a bunch of other people at that time. But he pulled up and he was like, hey, what's up, Bessie? What's up? How much you making beats? And I was like, yeah. And then we just, clicked up. He would come to my house in the basement, would fuck around, make beats, freestyle. And he was the freestyle champion, man. The homie Loco, like that motherfucker was super dope, man. Uno, dos, tres. I'm dropping the bass in cuatro. Was trying to get crazy with this down ass cuatro. Like he used to get down, man. You know what I'm saying? The homie Mr. Loco used to get down, and he was connected. Like I said, he was connected with Frog from Unforgotten Records, with Big Daddy from, Big Daddy Records, and he connected with Big Daddy Records. And I have a lot of things to say with, Big Daddy Records. Like, man, we was doing big things back then with him. Yeah, that's how me and Mr. Local came with the concept. And, I started working with Big Daddy Records, and I had to learn that you could actually buy beats in studio time. So I stopped making beats. Like I was just going through Fall from Unforgotten Records. Like, why the fuck am I trying to make beats? I'm not a beat maker. So I was just writing songs. So I was going to the studio recording, and I hooked up with Big Daddy at that time. And Big Daddy was doing big things, man. Like we hooked up with one of his other nephews. We had a limo. We was driving around limos all day, man. And Big Daddy was Big Daddy Records is from the north side, I'm saying, north side Denver. Like I said, I could work with different people from different areas because, I'm just a tagger, I'm saying? I'm just
basically you're not you're not involved in their politics, and honestly, I'm gonna tell you, Dank, I'm gonna tell you right now, I believe that your characteristic has to be one of the strongest ones, because as well as I do, and I know you've seen the gangbanging. I know you've seen it get out of hand. I know you've seen it all. And
I've been out slinging CDs, bro, and seeing people get shot right in front of me. Like back in the day when we first started slinging CDs. Like I'm gonna go back to the Big Daddy story, but I'm gonna tell you this one, slanging CDs. When we're selling CDs up and down Federal, I used to go up and down Federal all day on Sunday. Sundays we would go cruise Federal, selling CDs. I'll be up at the flea market on 8th and Federal slanging CDs. I was slanging CDs out to Taco Bell at Jumbo's, and there would be times, man, where like I would see people get shot and get killed right in front of me, right there on Federal. And what was a trip was when people would, have shootouts or whatever, everybody would scatter and everybody would run. And me, I would just walk away because I was on foot. And people would ask me all the time, they'd be like, why aren't you running? And why aren't you running? Why aren't you, taking cover and this and that? And I'll be like, they're not here for me. You know what I'm saying? Those beefing with those people. So they're beefing and they're handling it. They're not worried about me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It just it came to me that, being from the neighborhood and seeing so much, gangbang and stuff like that, to me, it just became a part of life where it's just like you're like blinded to it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a natural thing. I just
want to say this one thing to all the little youngsters out there. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a good cheat code right now, and it sounds insane. And but when you're in a situation like that, you're not supposed to run.
Yeah.
You're supposed to stay your ground. You're supposed to stand still. If you get a chance to duck down, do it. But you're not supposed to move in a situation like that. When bullets are flying, if you move in the wrong direction or anything, you're gonna catch one of those bullets. You know, you're gonna get hit with a ricochet. So I know it's insane to say that, but it's like that's something I found that was a trick, you know, that we used to do back in the day, you know. So I understand you when people are like, "Oh, why aren't you running? Oh my God!" Like, you know, and it's like, wait a minute, like, you know, you got to really know how to move at that point in time, how to really keep yourself survived, you know. And man, being in this industry as long as you have, being in the streets as long as you have, uh, you didn't choose, you know, you stood your ground, you know, you stayed the hustler, the parking lot pimp. That's what you are.
And that's
And
how it was, man. Like I said, like I take it back to, you know, Big Daddy, because I give a shout out to, you know, Big Daddy, you know, rest in peace. But like I was saying, man, like when I was connected with Big Daddy, we was doing big things, man. Like that's the most time that I ever felt like I was actually a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy had to put me in a lot of connections, and he treated me very fairly. Like, you know, he was connecting me with people. We was going around in limos. He was everything that I speak on right now, I could speak of because either somebody passed away or somebody already took a case for this. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't tell you about something that hasn't been already out. So if I'm speaking on something, it's something that a case is already closed, it's already been dealt with, or person's passed away. You know what I'm saying? So if people come here and say, "Oh, well, Dank's out there spilling the beans and dry snitching," I can't dry snitch on something that's already, already been taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So I get back to the Big Daddy situation now that people know that we was actually Big Daddy himself, who was out there actually counterfeiting money. He was counterfeiting gangs of fucking money, bro. Secret Service came in. Long story short, you know what I'm saying? At the time, he was connected. He was connected. He was making phone calls when they were having the fight with Snoop Dogg with the East Coast, West Coast at the BET Awards. He was the only one that came and bring Eminem to Denver. They did the Up and Smoke tour. We was doing all kinds of crazy stuff like that, man. And it was a major thing at the time. And he had connected me with Ron Allison from the Delphonics, and I did a song Fantasy with him. And I got a whole story with Ron Allison too, man. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I got a bunch of different stories. But Big Daddy, when he got locked up with the Secret Service came in, they got him. He stood his ground. He walked the yard by himself. He didn't say nothing about nobody else. None of us took no falls. He walked the yard by himself. And when he was in there, we was working on music and doing stuff like that. He just told us, like, he was like, do you guys' own thing. And that's, like I told you, that's what it comes back to. That's how we started Denver's Most Wanted, because we didn't have no money. We didn't have nothing. So we just came up with that concept of dropping a compilation album, of bringing all kinds of different neighborhoods together and putting it out. So basically there's a lot of a chain of events that led up to where the things are at right now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, got to give a shout out to Big Daddy, man, and he was a real one. You know what I'm saying? But that's how we got to Denver's Most Wanted, man. It was all that street shit got me to that point right there. You know what I'm saying? Where I ended up starting Denver's Most Wanted, and after that first album, it just took off. You know what I'm saying? The Denver's Most Wanted, the first album with me and Loco on the cover, it went crazy. Like Big Daddy was connected with Jay Salas from Chingalso Gear, and Jay Salas was the one that owned Suavecito's zoo suits, and that's why you see me in the zoo suit on the first cover. And I started working with Jay Salas doing Chingalso Gear, and we started doing like Chingalso Gear, like all the MMA fights and all the boxing fights and stuff like that. I was working for him, pushing Chingalso Gear. So it was, I got a lot of history, man, of like a bunch of different stuff. And we dropped Denver's Most Wanted Volume 1. It dropped Denver's Most Wanted Volume 2. When it came to Denver's Most Wanted Volume 3, the people I was working with, my cousin Gorilla and a bunch of the homies from the hood, you know what I'm saying? Because we was running amok up in the West Side. They was doing a bunch of shit that I didn't know. And even though I was the shot caller and stuff like that, like I was running the circle because I was the one that was plugging everybody. Even though I wasn't the one calling the shots, I was just a plug. You know what I'm saying? What everybody was doing was on their own shit. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with me. I wasn't leading nobody to do nothing. They were just my people, and they're doing dumb shit. So when the cops came in, man, they was looking. They were coming in and telling me, like, we're bringing up 80 to 90% of the stuff. They didn't catch nobody. They didn't do nothing. They were just on us for a long time, man. Always raiding us, always kicking in our doors, going stuff like that, trying to get the homies. And long story short, man, we did the Denver's Most Wanted Volume 3. We had the cop car on the cover, and my cousin Gorilla, which is my right hand man. My cousin Gorilla, he's a beast, bro. Like if anybody could slang CDs, it was him. We would go out there every single day and hustle and hustle and hustle. Like my cousin Gorilla was like, he was the mouthpiece, man. He could sell you anything. You know what I'm saying? He could sell you anything. Him and me and him were just, super mad hustlers. So we was just killing the
He
game.
can sell water to an elephant.
And then he was doing dumb shit, bro. Like honestly, he was doing some home invasions, stuff like that. The cops came in. He was on Colorado's Most Wanted. They had Denver's Most Wanted all over the news. We was everywhere. Colorado's Most Wanted. They're looking for Denver's Most Wanted. And he was coming in. And this is where my career really started taking off. I was actually slanging CDs at the Brentwood Shopping Center. I know you know where the Brentwood's at. And I was slanging CDs one day. And this is my line that I used to tell. I pulled up to a car. There was two homies in there. And I was like, yo, what's up, homies? I was like, check out this album. I said, if it's tight, it's tight. If it's whack, it's whack. You know what I'm saying? You be the judge of it. Just throw it on your deck. Threw it on the deck. Boom. They started bumping it. Homies were jamming like that. They're looking at each other. And him happened to be the homie Bozo and the homie Grumpy. Grumpy was, from High Power. He was managing Mr. Capone at the time. He was doing Capone's road managing, and Bozo was with him before Bozo got locked up. And Bozo was like, yeah, let me get your number, blah, blah, blah. Well, Bozo had an idea that he wanted me to slang CDs for him. But Bozo was in Denver, and he was, I guess he was on the run or whatever, and he got caught up. He got locked up. But I still connected with Grumpy, and we started doing booths together. So we was doing Denver's Most Wanted high power booths. So we started hitting the flea market. We started hitting car shows. We started hitting state fairs. I started doing state fairs with them. I did Denver State Fair. Then I went to Albuquerque, and I was actually in Albuquerque one time when Mr. Capone called me on the phone. We were doing a bunch of shows and stuff like that, and he had to call me on the phone. He's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Let's get a tour bus." He's like, "Let's pitch in, get a tour bus." And I was like, "Bro, I don't got bread like that." They thought I had money. I don't know why they thought I had money. I don't have money. I was like,
because you a parking lot pimp, man. You a parking lot pimp.
I mean, I know they've been to my house and stuff like that. I was at that time. I was actually pimping bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first met Capone and Criminal, them, I was actually pimping bitches. I had a bunch of bitches that I was running at the strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I kind of got the name Parking Lot Pimp, because I really was a pimp back then. But anyways, Capone called me. He was like, "Man, let's get this bus." And I was like, "Man, I ain't got money like that." He goes, "Give me a few months." He called me 3 months later. He was like, "I got you." He goes, "I got you a bus." He was like, "Fly out to LA." I flew out to LA, man. I was the first one there. The bus was still getting wrapped in the parking lot. You know what I'm saying? I was still getting wrapped, and I was the first one right there, man. So that's where, start going forward. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of
keep going, brother. Keep going. Unleash it. Like, get it all out. Let's speak about this, because honestly, this is a deep topic I wanted to speak about. I wanted to bring this up, and like I said, if you want to pass it anytime, you're more than able to, and I respect it. But I want to ask you about your touring days. I want to ask you about your hustle. I want to ask about the Parking Lot Pimp on the high power tour bus.
So basically, every negative thing that happened in my life, you know what I'm saying? That's why I got to look at it. Like even the thing with my cousin Gorilla, the cops are coming in after us. He already got hemmed up. He got locked up. They was still fucking with me a lot. And me meeting these guys in the parking lot was a blessing. Capone put me on. He got me out of Denver, bro. I would have been done. Honestly, I would have been done. I probably would have been in jail. I probably would have been locked up or anything, but I got a chance to leave and to go to do something positive. And Capone, I went out there, and it was me at the time. It was AC, the promoter. He was the one that was managing the bus. We had mobs. And then it was quite the Yes guy ended up coming with us. And we had, some of their family members like Miklo and Mikey Mike and a bunch of other people that was on the bus with us, man. And we was killing it, bro. City to city, state to state. We took off. Capone set us out, man. And AC was our road manager at the time. And we was hitting. Capone was A genius, bro. A genius. So I'm telling you, we was going from city to city, state to state. We was selling CDs and promoting concerts at the same time. And I did that for about 2 years, 2.5 years before I left. I'll get you the whole story of why I left and stuff like that. But we was out there, we was doing stuff with Bone Thugs and Harmony. Capone was really big at that time. We was pulling up to cities where people would be out there. We'll pull up to a spot and there'll be like 100 people just surrounding the bus. It was like Justin
Yeah.
Bieber type shit. We'll get out, we're taking pictures, signing autographs, signing CDs and stuff like that. And Capone was a master, man. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit because we was up. The first round we was going around, all this, New Mexico, Arizona, Kansas, Colorado. We're hitting up all the different towns, different cities, just hustling. And the first time we went around, Capone's bus was super dope. It was super nice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm living on this tour bus. And somehow some stuff ended up happening with AC, the promoter, where he ended up leaving the bus. I don't know what the actual whole situation was with that, but it ended up being that I ended up taking charge of managing the bus. So, guess I could fast forward to then. But when I was doing the bus, like I said, Capone was a genius. Like I would be able to sell one of my albums. The CDs were 2 for $20. I got 8, he got 8, and then $3 went back to the bus for maintenance and gas. You know what I'm saying? So I was running a crew of five people. So we have 5 people every day that sound 25 to 30 CDs a day. So you got to figure I'm making, profit wise for me, it was like 150, 175 a day or whatever. So you got to figure that times 5. While even though we was only making 150, Capone was making like 150 times 5 every day. And he was even there. He was just getting fucking paid. I was sending them like 20, 30, 40 racks every couple months. Like we're sending them gangs of money. And we was living on this bus, man, like pretty much just living on there to survive. That $150 didn't last the whole day. Like we had to pay for everything. So like they said, the money was coming out of the sales to pay for the bus, for gas and maintenance. And then we was living off whatever we made. So like every day. So if I made 150, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to stay in a hotel room, you had to pay for that or you had to sleep on the bus. So, when it was all said and done, I'd buy like Red Bulls, sack of weed, breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever.
Oh, I know, brother. I know that struggle. Definitely.
Yeah.
Back in 2013, and I bless you for this, man, so much, Dank. Like I don't think you understand, but you had a lot to do with my career. Like,
Well,
and I know you weren't involved like that with it, but your words and the way you used to speak highly about me and probably still do, man. Like it's like that went far. So I got that opportunity, like a lot of Chicano artists, I'm going to say a lot of artists, they don't get that opportunity. And I know that, especially in Colorado. But to be, a Southsider from Colorado and to touch that was a remarkable moment for me. And man, I didn't even know that you were doing half of these things. I didn't know that you designed it like that. But I thank you, man. I thank you for speaking highly about me. And I know that Grumpy too, I know those words went back.
Yeah.
And,
hey, Randy,
basically,
you wrote the homie Bugsy, told us about you, what I'm saying? And I know you had a song with Criminal and Bugsy, right? With Bugsy and Criminal too back then and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was, that's where Capone messed up at, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That's how you messed up. Was, I said like the first round came around, it was super dope. It was killing it. I was actually the only one that was on the bus that wasn't from a neighborhood, from their hood. You know what I'm saying? Capone put me on just because I was a hustler. Seeing what I could do. And he's like, I could use this guy. And basically that's what he did. He used me. Saying no hard feelings or whatever it is, what it is, you learn the hard way. But we was out there, hustling every day, doing concerts, doing shows, selling CDs, and Capone was getting super paid. But he ended up messing up because he ended up starting putting other people on the bus that wasn't really affiliated with their camp or with their neighborhoods, and some of them ended up being a bunch of lames. You know what I'm saying? So those lames is what's actually took down the bus. Because honestly, man, there's so many stories of on the road, man. Like it was a war zone. There'll be times we go into different cities and different states, and we're fighting with people and stuff like that. And I got a story of we got in a fight in Hollywood. One time at the end of one of these tours, we went into Hollywood, And Capone had took us to a club out there. He was like, the end of the tour, we're gonna go out here, we're gonna party in Hollywood. And some chick had actually ended up taking Capone to a VIP table, which it was enemies. I guess the gang Harpies. I guess they got beef with Capone's gang, and that's where I knew that Capone was a real one, because when I was out in California, they really had real beef. So we came out. He's like, go get the tour bus. I get out the tour bus and I'm inside the tour bus, and it's a big window. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pulling up right there. I see Capone. He's running in front of the bus and he's hopping around, getting ready to get down. I open up the bus door. Everybody that's inside the tour bus, man. We got the Monrovias, you got all the Mike and Mike's, so many mobs and people and stuff like that. They get out there and it's just a brawl. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody's getting down, Three Still Loco. Everybody's fighting and stuff, and people are laid out. I remember SMS. He was knocked out. But it was a big bloodbath, man. Like it was a good fight. I wasn't involved because I was driving and this is my beef. So, I seen everything, but I definitely at that time, being out in California and going different places, like people were looking for Capone, like, oh, where's Capone at, this and that. So I did know that he was, from a neighborhood, and that he was, really about that life, or connected in some way in that type of life. So, shout out to him and stuff like that. But like I said, man, he did as artist. We He was just a straight hustler, man. He was a hustler. He got us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all got hustle. We out there working for nothing. But it was definitely an opportunity, and it was a privilege to be up on the bus. But like I said, at the end of the day, business is business, and the business wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us left. We all left. I was on the bus to about 2012. So what ended up happening, okay, I'm telling you, this was the first round. That was the first time the bus came around. The first time we came around, it was popping. You know what I'm saying? It was popping. We was out there slanging. There was hundreds of people on the bus. We're signing autographs every day, boom, doing concerts. Capone would fly out, criminals fly out, we'd go pick them up, drive them to the show, they'll fly back out, we'll go to a different city. And like I said, we was out there promoting, selling CDs. That's how I learned how to do shows, you know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I'm learning all this knowledge of how to throw shows. I'm learning how to, hustle money and, organize things like that. So, shout out to Capone for teaching me a lot of stuff, but it was something that I got taught a hard lesson. You know what I'm saying? It was a lesson that was hard, that you learned the hard way. You know what I mean? But fast forward, man, after the first round.
Hey, man. Hey, man, I gotta tell you, I understand you more than you know.
Yeah, so, but fast forward, man, after the first round came around. We had a little break. He's like, I came back to Denver. I started working on my album. I did the Parking Lot Pimp album. I recorded that with, West Coast Sound with Simon Carter. Gave it to Capone. He put me on the Gangsta Left 7. I'm on the Gangsta Left 7 album. I dropped my album to Capone. And he was like, I need you guys to get back out there. He goes, as a matter of fact, I got you and Pink's the bus. So he got me and Pink's the bus. My picture's in the back of the bus. It was a different bus. This motherfucking bus, we call this the bus from hell, bro. It was nothing like Capone's bus. Capone's bus was dope, bro. It came out the side. He had a big TV in his room. Like, it was super dope. We had a small little bus. It was the high power bus, and it was Pink's on one side, high power on the other side. So it was a different round, man. Like, Capone was making so much money. He had that bus going around with a whole different crew. And then I was running the crew. It was me. At that time, I think it was me, Miss Lady Pinks. We had Tweety with us. And Breaks there. I think Scriptlow got on there with us for a while. Pranks. No, like pranks, you know what I'm saying? So we was rolling up in this bus. And, I went back out to Cali, sitting there, bro. And like, this bus, it was a fucking piece of junk, bro. It was junk. It was such a piece of a junk, bro. We was at the mechanics. The first time when I got out to Cali, it was getting fixed. The mechanics are trying to fix it. The fucking mechanic shop gets raided, bro. We get raided. Cops come in. I guess it was a chop shop or something. We didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So they fucking take everybody down. They take the mechanics. So now we're not going nowhere because the bus is stuck there. So the bus is stuck there. So I'm staying in Cali for a few days, staying at a hotel and stuff like that too. Capone figures it all out. We get back on the road, and then we're gone. You know what I'm saying? We're on the second trip around. And it was super dope, man. We started hitting the same areas, hitting the same spots. And it was like once you start hitting something so much, it's like you're you're hitting a dead horse over and over and over again. So less people started coming out. They started catching on that, Capone wasn't on the bus because, like Capone, be like, it's his bus, but he wasn't on the bus. So we're slanging CDs and people are asking like, where's Capone at? Where's Capone at? So I'm like, well, Capone's not here, but I'm Dank One. It's my album. Boom, boom. Check it out. Also, you can get my album. You can get Capone's album. I'll hook you up 115, 2 for 20. So people take it 2 for 20. And, of course, we got Pinks up on the bus, but it did come down to like, we were like saturating the market, like we were going to the same spots. So it started dying down a little bit. And, there was a lot of conflicts and dramas with, I wish we could have had a reality TV show because there was a lot of drama that was going on with, people partying, doing different stuff. But we had strict rules though, man. Like you couldn't party on the bus. You couldn't party on the bus. You could party afterwards. When the shift was over, you go to the hotel, have people pick you up, do whatever. But that always ended up coming to like tracking motherfuckers down the next day. Like, we got to go to a different city. Motherfuckers are still partying, pass out on some chick's house. You're trying to figure out, this and that. Tweety was a beast, man. Tweety was like, he was a beast, bro. He had chicks all the time, you know what I'm saying? So Tweety was, he was doing his thing. But yeah, it ended up being pretty wild and stuff like that. But that second round, man, it just got saturated. It started going down. I kept asking Capone. I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "What's up? My album was it going to drop? It's been sitting on your desk for 5-6 months. We're doing shows and shows and shows, and doing stuff like that. And I'm not making no money, bro. I've been on the road for 2.5 years. I have no money sent back home. I got my kids back home. I'm pretty much broke. You know what I'm saying? So I'm living day by day. And I'm running the bus, I'm saying? I'm managing all these people, babysitting everybody. I'm pretty much like a babysitter. I'm a babysitter to a bunch of gangsters, bro. I don't know if you ever babysitted a bunch of gangster bros, but that's hard work. I'm saying?
Tell you the truth. I'm not gonna say babysit, but definitely when you're in the hood, you know what I'm saying, and you got all the homies right there, and definitely I'm gonna say when I was a little youngster, I didn't get a chance to really be a peewee like that. I was out there really like I was on my shot collar shit. I was out there really thugging it. And I remember I would have to check a bunch of homies because they get out of hand. So I get it. It's like you're chasing them around and you're like, hey, what are you doing, man? Like you shouldn't be doing like why are you doing that in front of everybody? Like we're not gonna get caught. Why are you drinking like that and walking off like you're not gonna crash out right now? Like what's going on, type thing. So I understand. And especially they're probably trying to take advantage. They're like, he's not a homie, he's not a gang member, so let me just take advantage,
These guys are way bigger than me, man. Fucking, real gangsters. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a tagger from Denver. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
You're
tell.
Like, hold on, let me bust out my spray can real quick.
I'm trying to tell these guys what to do, man. You know what I'm saying? And it really wasn't working out. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, they're homies for the hood, and I'm trying to keep a business. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep them like, yo, we got a schedule, we got to stick to this, we got to do this, we got to go here, we got to go there. And they're like, oh man, Chale, you know what I'm saying? Like we're doing this, we're doing that. But I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on those tour buses, man. I'll never regret what I did. I wish things could have worked out a little bit different. I wish Capone just would, pay his artists a little bit more and take care of us because pretty much everybody left. You know what I'm saying? But you got to give it out to Capone, man. He's a businessman. He made his money. He was making a lot of money then. He's probably making a lot of money now.
He's a savage.
He's a beast, man. And
he's a high power savage.
When it comes down to this, man, like I said, we all left the label. A lot of us left the label, but it comes back to Capone, and this is where he comes with his album, Last Man Standing. Well, he's the last man standing of high power, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, He's there. It's his company, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, man. Like I said, it was a good time, man. But I have a lot of different stories, man.
What was the most and we got to ask this type of questions because everybody out there, they hear things, and they always hear things. So let's go ahead and clear a couple things out. Like, what was a bad day on the bus like? Like, what was some negativity things that you had to endurance on that bus? I know that people say things as in wrong people were on that bus. Wrong people. Some people were caught with the wrong people. And it's deep, there was some foul play going on, and I never heard that. I never heard one bad story come off of anybody's mouth about Mr. Capone, but I have heard some very, very foul things about some of those artists that came off of that bus.
Honestly, bro, there was nothing when I was on there because I ran a clear, hard ship. You know what I'm saying? I did hear some of the stories, like you said. I wasn't there, so I can't really speak on some of the things. Um, I know a lot of things happened when we weren't on the bus, but when AC was running the bus, AC the promoter was running the bus, when I was running the bus, we ran it a clear ship, man. Like there was no drinking, no smoking stuff on the bus. There was no bringing, bitches up on the bus and stuff like that. So it was just, really a tight ship. There is stories that I have heard. Like I said, I don't know too much about them, but a bad day for me on the bus, and a bad day for me on the bus, bro, was we hit spots, cities and towns that were small, that there was no money to be made. And there would be times that we didn't have no money to even move the bus. Like there was no money, out there. And I would call Capone and I'll be like, hey man, like, we're in a jam. We're right here. We ain't got no money, we ain't got no gas, we ain't got no, what he would say? Figure it out. That was his answer to everything. Figure it out. So I would have to figure it out. I'd have to figure it out. We'd have to figure it out. We'd have to figure it out. Sometimes I'd have to use some of my own money, or I'd have to get some money coming in from somewhere else. And, while I was taking care of me and the people on the bus, because I was, the leader of the bus. So um, there were times I was using my own money to keep things going. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a bad day in the bus. That was a bad day in the bus, was not having enough money to keep going to a different spot. I mean, we know there was money in other spots, but, you had to get there first. But other than that, man, there wasn't really of course, there was like fights where people would come up to the bus trying to trip on some of the homies. But all the homies, how they're ground. You know what I'm saying? Like I was on there with SS Cycle and Triste. And SS Cycle used to always handle his own, man. Like I know there would have been times where people would come up to the bus and they'll be like, hey, where's Capone? Or where's this and that? And like try to gangbang on me. And I'm like, bro, like, oh, you're talking to the wrong person. If you want to talk to somebody, go talk to those dudes over there. And they'll go talk to them, and Psycho and them would end up handling it, man. Sometimes there'll be fights, sometimes things would go down, but it was always handled. You know what I'm saying? It was always handled.
So I want to ask a few last questions right now. I know that we're running out a little bit of time, but I want to ask these questions real quick. What are some of the features that you've done? I know you've worked with a lot of people in the city. I know for a fact one of them is Symes Carter, and honestly, he's doing incredible things. But I want to know what kind of features outside of high power you were able to obtain throughout your career.
See, and I have a lot of stories, bro. And I'm gonna tell you, man, meeting Symes Carter is one of them. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole different other story. You have to bring it back on, bro, because I got a whole
Oh, I
story
am.
here.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna have a part two. I don't want to ever deprive the people, because I'm telling you, man, sitting down with you like this is what they want. They want to feel content like this, because this is the perfect platform. And you're such a righteous artist yourself, man, that it's like, how could we not bring you back out for a round two? How could we not? We're gonna have to. You might actually have so much knowledge about this industry in Denver, Colorado, that you might have to go into a third one, and there's no
Of
problem with
course,
that.
bro. I got, I
You
got,
know,
I got, I got a lot of stories, man. I just fast forward through a lot of stuff, just trying to jump to it. But I'm gonna tell you a story about Symes Carter, man. When Symes Carter came to Denver, I was one of the first people that he had linked up with. He was actually linked up with Coogee Kid, and him and Coogee Kid were at the strip club. And that's like I said, I was pimping bitches. I had my bitches at the strip club, and they were up there, and I guess they were throwing some money around to one of my bitches, and they're like, "Hey, like blah blah blah," or "I'm a rapper." Coogee Kid's like, "I'm a rapper." Symes Carter's like, "I'm a producer," and my chick downstairs, she was like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, I roll with Dank One. And Coogee Kid was like, I know Dank One. They call him. So that's how I hooked up with Symes Carter. She had called me from the strip club. She's like, I'm here with Coogee Kid and Symes Carter. They came to my crib. I heard some of Symes' production. I was like, man, this dude is super dope. Symes Carter was he had just came from, from leaving the label Upstairs Records, where he had just, he produced some stuff for Amanda Perez. He did the New Riders album. He did all Little Rob's 1218 album. He was doing all the Ross production stuff like that. But he has his own story where he had left the label and came to Denver. So I had hooked up with him, and he had shown me some stuff and stuff like that. And he ended up becoming my producer. So he became my producer. And when I ended up hooking up with High Power, he was here in Denver and I took off on the road, but he was still my producer. So when I came back, we worked on the Parking Lot Pimp album. But, being connected with him and me being connected with Capone, I'll just go ahead and fast forward to everything this because I know we're running short on time. But I got features with Baby Bash, MC Magic, MB Riders, Mr. Criminal, Mr. Capone, Brown Boy, Little Flip, Mac Mall, Young Droop. I got some tracks with Ponji from New Flavor, Regal Luna from New Flavor. Of course, like some of the Denver legends like Scordall, PAC from Rapo Trues. I actually signed PAC from Rapo Trues to my label. Let's see what else I got up on feature. I think that's pretty much all the big features that I got. And of course, Ron Allison for the Delphonics. Man, I got a dope story too with Ron Allison for the Delphonics and how I met him and stuff like that and his, stuff like that. But I'll wait for that for a different time if we're running out of time. But man, I got stories for days, man. I should write a book or do a movie, of all the stuff that I've been through because there's a lot more good stuff that I would like to get into, but there's just really, not enough time because I got a lot of shit to say.
When you're ready to write that book, brother, let me know because I got some publishers and I got some writers too that can sit down and definitely, man, I believe, honestly, to be honest with you, I believe you should do a book. I believe you should write a Denver's Most Wanted. I believe you should write a Dank One. I believe that you have good knowledge. And it's like, I tell everybody all the time, if you're looking to explore, if you're looking for that exposure, you're looking to take your music to the next level. If you're looking at Colorado right now, we are booming. Colorado is booming right now. Colorado has so many eyes on us right now that basically, if you're looking to come to Denver, Colorado, I'm telling you, hit up David Pistols or Dank One. And honestly, you can get on some showcases. You can come down here and you can taste the Mile High. You can taste it at its finest. And, man, shouts out to you, Dank. You're a pioneer in this industry. And I got to give you your flowers. I got to give you your flowers. And anybody that doesn't want to hear that, hit him with an elbow. We got to hit him with an elbow.
I want to get back to that, man, real quick before we get off, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody. But everything that I learned from the High Power Tour Bus is what actually taught me when I came back to Colorado. I started doing my own shows, and that's how I started getting involved in events of things that I learned from High Power. So even though it was a negativity, I turned it into a positivity. And like I said, I never regret anything. I give a shout out to the homeboy, Mr. Capone, for giving me the chance and the opportunity to get out there and get that knowledge. Even though things didn't work out, I don't regret anything that happened. Like I said, I got a lot of stories and I learned a lot, but I came to Colorado and I started doing my own shows and I started putting people up on. Like I said, I started putting money, investing into my daughter. My daughter's DJ Sensation. I got my son, Julian, from Julian Santos TV. He got his own YouTube channel. Like I said, I got a lot more to speak about, but I just want to give a shout out to my boy AG, the MC, that's been putting it down, rocking with me, performing with me, doing my hype man and stuff like that. So I even got a lot more stories, man, to come back from, even being the bus, come back to Denver and throwing concerts and stuff out here and start making my own moves and start, building my own brand. But what I want to give out and to shout out to everybody that's listening right now, if you get the opportunity, man, don't be like me, man. Like I kind of got the opportunity when I went with Capone and stuff like that. I didn't take advantage of all the opportunities that were out there. And the reason I didn't take advantage of those opportunities is because I was solid to Mr. Capone, and I didn't want to step on his toes or try to steal his connections and stuff like that. I was kind of being the person that would I'm not going to be that type of person to steal somebody's connections and stuff like that. But I should have. I should have got all those connections in different towns and different cities that we're at, man. I should have got those connections. I should have been writing them down and stuff like that. So if you guys get the opportunity to, do something, make sure you take advantage of the whole opportunity and try to get as many connections and stuff like that as you possibly can, because you never know when it doesn't work out for you. Like me, it didn't work out for me. So you guys, man, keep pushing, man, keep grinding, keep moving forward and do you guys' thing and take advantage of every opportunity that you could possibly get.
Shouts out to you, brother, man. Can you go ahead and give us a drop real quick? Give a shout out to SR Broadcast, man. Dank One in the house.
SR Broadcast, man, right here with my boy David Pistols and your boy Dank One, man. Thank you guys for the interview. I want to give a shout out to everybody and let you guys know you ain't got to pay for no interview. You got to come this way. Shout out to David Pistols, man. Youngster, what's up?
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Thank you so much, man. And shouts out to you, man. Shouts out to Cali Hood Media, One
Cali Hood Media.
Underground
Let's
TV,
go.
Pothead Productions, Spilled Records, and wait a minute. Denver's Most Wanted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Your boy Dank
You
on
know
the
what it
parking lot
is?
camp.
Shouts out to you, Colorado, 303-720-719-970. You know the area codes. Let's keep it pushing. Everybody out there, you know we're going to be doing a part two. You know we're going to
Part
be
two,
doing a
part
part
three.
two.
I got a lot of stories to tell, man. Hit me up, man. If they like it and the views are if there's something they like, man, hit me back up.
And honestly, I'm going to just tell y'all like this. Y'all don't got to go home, but you're probably already at home. Y'all don't got to leave. Y'all just got to get the hell off the phone right now. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, you know what time it is. David Pistols, you know what I'm saying? Don't do, we going to just say like this. Don't do no coke and pet your dog. You know what I'm saying? Don't do no coke and walk your dog. You know what I'm saying? Don't drink and
Hey,
drive. Don't
you
do
got to
that
make
now.
it.
You
You got to
know?
make it snow. You got to make it
Don't
snow in
text and drive
Colorado.
either. But you know what it is, man? David Pistols, we're right here in full effect, baby.
Oh, there
SR
it is.
Broadcast in the building. Shouts out to you, Six Deuce. We see you, baby.
Scarface, baby. Let's
Everybody
get
out
it.
there. Prop
Peace out,
purpose
man.
only.
Much love.
Mad love, man. We out of here. SR Broadcast in a mix. You know what it is? Let's go ahead and hit this comment bar real quick. What's up, Diego?